A long, round body, four big wheels, a steering wheel, before their eyes. Ma Liang painted an old-fashioned race car into existence. Toad clapped happily. What a clever lad! You remember. Ma Liang bowed. Rivers and mountains may change. Toad never. Dorothy grabbed her shortstop by his jersey. Toad, you promised. You swore off motor cars until we were finished with the tournament. But that was when I thought we were going to lose our first game. Please, he painted it especially for me. It can't really work, can it? Alex asked. I mean, it's just a painting. Of course it can. It's a magic paintbrush, Toad told him. Here, I'll show you. Toad slipped free of Dorothy's grip, hopped into the car, and revved the engine. Toad, don't you dare, Dorothy yelled, but she was too late. The car leaped away, its big wheels cutting tracks in the park grass as Toad swung the steering wheel this way and that. Ho, ho, Toad cried as he swung back past them. Make way for the amazing Toad, able batsman and daring motor car racer. Skillful Toad, handsome Toad, glorious Toad. Say so long, fellows, for this is the last you'll see of old Toady. I'm off to see faraway places. Take the road less traveled. Grab life by the smash. Toad drove the painted car right into a tree and was thrown clear. He landed with a thud among the shrubberies. Toad! Alex cried, rushing to his side. The daredevil lay unconscious among a scattering of Vote Toad cards that had come out of his pockets mid-tumble. Toad, Toad, speak to me, Alex said. Toad's eyes were closed, and Alex feared the worst. Dorothy walked up and crossed her arms. He'll be fine in a second. She was right. Toad's eyes popped open, and he came back to life. Poop, 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 he said, imitating the car. Did you see me, Alex? Did you? What a splendid ride. Woo! Dorothy poked him with her foot. I'm glad the team is so important to you that as soon as you hop into an automobile, it's so long, fellows, I'm off to see the world. Well, of course I didn't mean it, Toad said. You know the team is the most important thing to me. Honestly, I think of nothing else day and night. Hits and runs, stolen bases, double plays, live for baseball. That's my motto in life. A Victorian couple on a walk in the park stopped a few yards away to see what the fuss was about. Oh, here! Toad handed Alex one of the strewn Vote Toad cards. Run, give this to those people, would you? Dorothy dragged Toad to his feet. Let's go, Toad. You and me are going to put your automotive expertise to good use and see if we can't get Lester's bus fixed. Toad tried to protest, but Dorothy dragged him away. Scraps waved goodbye to Ma Liang, and as he painted a hot air balloon for himself, he floated back to the top of the stadium to finish his work. Kind of seems out of place, doesn't it? Alex said. A Chinese pagoda in the middle of London. We're all out of place here, Scraps told him. Guess we have the day off then. Want to go into town with me? I need to buy a bit of fabric. She pointed to her leg, and Alex saw the long gash there for the first time. Cotton batting stuck out through the hole. Scraps, you're hurt. Did the wolf do that? I'm torn, not hurt, Scraps corrected him. She led him out of the park with Nanny May and Mrs. P a few watchful paces behind them. And it wasn't the big bad wolf. One of those pigs hoofed me when he slid into third yesterday. No big deal, just another patch, and I'm as good as new. So that's really all you are, fabric and stuffing? I mean, that's not all you are, but you know. Scraps smiled. That's really all I am. Leftover scraps of somebody else's pretty fabric sewn together, all higgledy-piggledy. Please, no more pig jokes, not after last night. Seconded, Nanny May said, listening in behind them. Scraps tugged at one of her patches. See, this piece of red and white gingham? I like to think it came from an apron or maybe a little girl's dress. Over here is my fanciest bit, a piece of silk with a crane pattern on it from a kimono. And that Scrap, she said, twisting around so he could see, that's purple brocade from a king's robe maybe, or maybe just somebody's drapes, she grinned. Take me apart and I'm just what my name says I am, a bunch of scraps. You don't know where all these pieces of you came from, do you? Do you? Alex watched another carriage rattle by the street. Does that mean you can't die, Scraps? None of us can, not getting torn apart. The only way a storybook ever dies is when people stop believing in us. Same for larks. First you get the itch, and then you're gone. The itch? You mean like Button Bright? I saw him scratching in the dugout. The itch comes from when people start doubting you, forgetting you. Nanny May explained from behind them. Some people lose the itch and make a full recovery, but for most, it means their time is up. Then Button Bright, Scrap shook her head. Button Bright disappeared a couple of times before now, and he's been gone longer each time. I think this time it's for good. There are adults out there who remember him, but nobody believes in him anymore. You need kids for that. They walked along quietly, and Alex saw a red and white Ever After Department of Homeland Security poster with a picture of the big bad wolf's head and the words, "Keep calm and carry on." If nobody in Ever After can die, he asked, why is everybody so afraid of the big bad wolf? Oh, well, the wolf doesn't kill you, see, Scrap said. He just eats you up, swallows you whole. You're inside the wolf, and inside the wolf is, well, nothing. It's just an empty void. No light, no sound, nothing. You're just there, waiting for someone to forget you. It's worse than dying. So the wolf, he can't die either? No, the nanny said. You can knock him down, hurt him, isolate him, but he'll always be there waiting to come back again, and you never know when or if he will. How long would Alex have to keep running from the wolf then? For as long as he kept dreaming? But he wasn't dreaming. He knew that now. If he really was asleep and just dreaming all this, he would have woken up when the wolf was chasing him in the bus. Alex stepped in a puddle on the sidewalk and felt the back of his pant legs get wet. The wolf was real. The claw marks on Alex's chest were real, and they still hurt. The whole world was real, but he refused to believe that Dorothy and the others told him that he was the daydream of some other Alex Metcalf somewhere else. It was crazy. There had to be some other explanation. If he wasn't dreaming this place, if it was a real place and he was here, that meant Alex stopped in the middle of the sidewalk. I'm real. We all are, Scraps told him. No, I mean, I'm the only one here who isn't a fantasy. I'm not dreaming, and I'm not somebody else's dream. I'm the one and only Alex Metcalf. I don't remember falling down a rabbit hole or ridding a tornado or anything, but somehow I ended up here like Alice or Dorothy in their stories. That has to be it. No, dear, Nanny May said. You're a lark. But I could be right, couldn't I? Well, Scraps began. No, the nanny said again. If the only other explanation was that he was a lark, then Alex chose to believe he was a real live boy. That was the only answer. He had disappeared from the real world, gotten lost here and ever after, and now the big bad wolf was after him, and Alex put a hand to the bandages on his stomach, and he had to get out of here. Scraps nodded to a shop window filled with blots of cloth. This is the fabric store I need. You coming? She asked. Ah, no, Alex told her. He had spied an office across the street he wanted to visit. No thanks, Scrap. I'll meet you back at the bus. Scrap's eyes lingered on Alex for a moment, then she glanced at Nanny. I'll watch him, Nanny May said. I haven't lost one of my charges yet. Alex wished they would believe him, but it really didn't matter. He would show them. He waited for a carriage to pass and hurried across the street to a shop marked Ever After Holiday and Travel Services Ltd. The nanny gave him a disapproving look, but she didn't stop him from going in. The walls of the tiny office were lined with posters advertising odd vacation opportunities, a bank holiday spent inside a vault, a walk down memory lane, a trip down the stairs. Underneath each was listed the vacation's price, including airfare, taxes, and the Ever After Department of Homeland Security fees. Hello and welcome, said a perky woman behind the counter. Where can we send you today? We have a number of specials right now, including our very popular Ego trip. Or if you're looking for something a little different, we have a number of day trips available. I understand Friday is beautiful this time of year. I already know where I want to go, Alex told her. Let's get right to it then. The travel agent pulled her keyboard over. Are you two together? Alex and Nanny May said no and yes at the same time. Yes, the nanny asserted. She pulled her knitting out of one of her impossible pockets and clicked away. Alrighty, will this be a round trip or a square one? One way if that's an option. Alex glanced at the nanny. She raised her eyebrow but said nothing. Certainly, and would you like to travel? And how would you like to travel? Broomstick, glass elevator, magic wardrobe. I've got some great rates on giant peach cruises. It doesn't matter, Alex interrupted. Magic wardrobe, he decided. At least that sounded safer than riding a piece of fruit somewhere. And where would you like to go? Home, please. A woman's fingers paused over her keyboard. Beside him, still knitting, Nanny May cleared her throat. Home? The travel agent asked. Yes, my home, in Decanter, Georgia. The woman tapped at her keyboard. Her computer beeped. Had she actually found it? I'm sorry, that destination again? Alex slumped. Decanter, Georgia? Just outside Atlanta? Atlantis? No, Atlanta. Is that near Camelot? No, it's in the United States, which is a country. Have you never heard of it? Or you have to have heard of it. There's no place you can go we can't send you, the woman said cheerfully. Let me just look at my list of nations. Alienation, divination, elimination, indignation, pollination, pedestrianation. I'm sorry, I just don't see your home on here. But you said there was no place I could go you couldn't send me, Alex said. I do rather think that's the point, Alex, the nanny said. The woman behind the counter gave him a sympathetic smile. I'm terribly sorry. Are you sure there isn't someplace else you'd like to go? The Emerald City, Sunnybrook Farm, Camp Green Lake, free shovel with every purchase. No, no, thank you. I didn't have any money anyway. Oh, that's all right, the woman told him. I'm not just a travel agent, I'm a free agent too. If you think of anywhere you'd like to go, just let me know and I can send you there at no cost. Alex thanked the woman and went back out onto the street. Nanny Mae pulled a bit of kibble from her pocket and fed Mrs. P while they waited on Scraps to finish. We're all out of place here, Scraps had said, but Alex thought he was the most out of place of them all. He leaned back against the window of the travel agency, wondering how he could possibly get back to where he really belonged, and saw the pagoda roof of the new stadium poking up above the London skyline. Ma Liang and his magic paintbrush, Alex nodded to himself. There might just be a way for him to get home, after all.